While some of the other things are drying, I'm going to pull out a couple more canvases that I've been working on. And this is a regular 12 by 12 where I painted black. I scraped through the canvas with a palette knife. And then I took some white paint and kind of splittered it on there. Here's some scraping marks, and I'm taking a white charcoal. And I'm just adding some more marks. And the marks that you add to the canvas, here's my 56. I always do that backwards. I always do some writing. It needs to be marks that are unique to you. And the reason why I say that is that's how people are going to find you. They're going to see your art. They may notice some of your marks, but it also helps when you're stuck in a painting and you want to make some marks of some sort, but you don't know what to do to get yourself out of being stuck. So a lot of times the marks that you make are the things that's going to inspire you to take the next step. So I don't know where this painting is going to go at the moment. It's just I'm putting base layers down, and I'm keeping in mind the focus of what I'm doing in this series, and it's to explore the thoughts of who I am right now in my age. So I've pulled out the 4 that I started with, and I pulled out some paintings on paper that I liked, that had been kind of inspirational to me, and I'm taking a look at them. I like the chaotic lines in those paintings. I pulled out a piece of collage that I like. It's got a lot of texture to it. It's a little bit thicker. And I pulled out some tissue paper that I do writing on it, and it's just writing that is nothing is really a real word. It's just partial words, and when you do it on tissue paper and you use like a gel to put them down, it just melds into the painting, and I like some of the lines that are created that way. I could do it like with a brush on the canvas, but something about doing it on the tissue paper just gives it more of a type of a freedom. So I'm just trying to take a look to see where I might want to add this little bit of writing. And I've decided to put it at the top right hand corner of that painting over there on the right. And you'll see me as I go through this painting, these 4 paintings, you'll see how the one at the top left, I kind of like where that's at. So the others I'm going to be probably focusing on more. So you'll just see me go through and back and forth, add in paint, take paint away, use my hands, use paper towel, use different brushes to add strokes, use charcoal both in the black and the white. You just see me doing different marks that I normally do on my paintings. Some of them are repetitive marks, like that spiral there in the black shape. The spiral is a mark I absolutely love, so I will put that in my paintings periodically, and I just love the way it just adds. And then the little circles, I do the little circles a lot of my paintings. So you're going to watch just a little video. I'll speed it up a little bit of the going back and forth of painting these 4 paintings and seeing if this is the final layer, if this is going to be just the next layer. At this point, I'm not sure. It's just no pressure. I'm just still in the mindset of playing, exploring, and taking risks, and not letting the fear of the final painting hinder me. I'm showing you a soft gel. That's what I use to adhere the collage, both the tissue and the large piece of collage down. So I'm just gonna turn on some music for you and let you watch me paint. It's a full sheet. So I put the modeling paste, and then I put the collage down on it, in keeping with my color. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do here. I may it's going to seep into the wood. So I'm not sure. I don't have a plan here. Sometimes you have to play. Many times you have to take risks. If you stay in a safe zone in painting, you may not learn new things about yourself, what you like. I'm going to try some gold, and my thoughts are, as this is developing, I am splattering in fact, I'm going to take a large brush, take some of this gold, and just splatter some in. If you don't take risks, if you don't try something different, if you do what you've always done, you're not going to explore and maybe find something that you really like within your art. I like how that's soaking in, and I like how it's hard to tell by looking at this where I started, and I like that. I like the like how did she do that look? So I'm adding some depth. I may add some white up there, but I want that to definitely blend in a little more. So I think I may leave this piece as it is, as things are blending in. I'm liking that. It's unusual enough for me to really enjoy it. So I'm gonna let some of these things dry, and I'm not quite sure if I'm going to end the video here, add some more. But these are the underpaintings, because I don't want to add too much in this first painting, because a lot of this is just the underpainting, starting. Are some done? I don't know. Maybe this, when it dries, I'll really like it. Maybe when this dries, I'll want to add more. I don't know. And so at this point, some of the pieces are definitely in the beginning stages. Some I want to move forward. Some I don't want to move too far forward. Others I'm going to let dry and see if they're going to make the cut for the series. I've gone off a little bit of what I initially started on sizes of canvas, but that's okay. That's all a part of the process. I wanted to try, I used some matte medium. I just took a bowl and I put some matte medium in there, and I sprayed some water. I took a piece of my cheesecloth, and it comes like this, very fluid. I dipped the cheesecloth down in the material, and I just put it on this canvas. This is just a tester canvas. Whether this piece of art actually gets into my series, I'm not sure, but it's just a way to show you the drying of this canvas. I use plaster of Paris for these others. Okay, I talked about the last canvas where I took cheesecloth and put a piece on there with the matte medium. What I'm going to do is several of the canvases that I am making and will be making, I used a piece of canvas and I covered it in plaster of Paris and adhered it to the canvas, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I use this plaster of Paris right here. It's called Falling in Art, and I'm going to show you the best way is to put your water in first and then just sprinkle your plaster of Paris, and it's 2 parts plaster of Paris to 1 part water. So this is the best way to do it, to avoid, you sprinkle it, to avoid as lumps. I measured it, but I'm not always an exact measurer. This seems a little thick, so I think I'm just gonna spray just a couple spritz of water on there. It should be pretty liquidy. So I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit and see if I need to add more water before I add my cheesecloth. But I'm gonna show you a couple pieces that I've done. And this is just like a 8x8 canvas. And this is the canvas that I dipped in the plaster of Paris, or I actually painted. I took the canvas and laid it out how I wanted it to be laid out. Then I put the plaster of Paris on the canvas, and then I let it dry. I painted the background a gold color, and then I dabbed some white and some black high flow on it just to give it an unusual look. And the same thing with this. I painted the back black and then added some white, and I did the canvas pieces in gold. So these are just 2 pieces that they may or may not make it in the series, but they kind of go along with the theme. Here's another one, and I did the back on this with a very textured like modeling paste. It's very textured, and then I added a piece of the canvas, and this is the gold background. But what I'm going to do is to be in keeping with my colors that I've been using in this series. And this first part of just starting with the initial canvases and some backgrounds, because this is not something that is going to be happening overnight. It's a process of painting. I like that kind of the coppery color of mixing. This This is not just straight black. This is the black with some of the gold in it. I'm going to spray it down. I'm going to actually put some wet on there. I'm going to dab a shop towel. I think I'll just get a piece of a shop towel. Just look around. There's different things in your studio that you can use. Since this is a very, very rough texture, this mixing in of the paint takes some work because it's not a flat texture. I may have it a little darker on one side. But having some of this mixture, I'm going to let it soak into the cracks and the crevices. And I may want to just dribble some black, kind of just to add some depth. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit. My plaster of Paris. I do think I need a little more water. You'll know when you work with plaster of Paris, but I don't mind it being on the thicker side. So here's my canvas, here's my cheesecloth, and I got a lot of plaster of Paris here, so I may dip a couple pieces and just set them to the side. I'm just going to spread this out. I don't mind it getting on my canvas. Very thick. I may want some of that sticking off the edge. And that's the cheesecloth. If you had canvas, it does the same thing. So I am going to let that dry. So there's the plaster of Paris. I would show you these last two. The top one is the cheesecloth with the, it's like a medium, what is it, gel medium type with the water. And the bottom's a plaster of Paris, and it's really hard. And they both have great qualities. I at first thought I really liked the one in the bottom, but then after I started seeing the way the paint mixed in with the medium and water on the top, even though it's a little softer, it still held some of the qualities of the cheesecloth material and the way the paint blended in. So it's a preference thing. Now these are very small canvases. I had mentioned before, I'm not sure if they're going to make it into the final cut, but a lot of times when you're creating for your, these are I'm measuring now 4 by 12. When you're creating your paintings for your series, sometimes you get surprised, complete surprises, and that's why I think it's great to stay open. And what I liked about these is just I sprayed water on the canvases, and then I just put some high flow black and titanium white down, and then I kept blow drying them to blow some of the fluids around, let some of them mix to create a gray. And I just had fun with these. So the end result is I really like the two I had. I think they'd be great to have as paintings beside other paintings in the series, because they have just a good, fun, dynamic mix with them. Or, they'd be great by themselves. They're smaller, and I don't do a lot of smaller paintings, but these were just fun. So I'm gonna speed this up a little bit, but you'll see me just do the same thing, putting some paint down, blow drying the paint around, adding in some gold, dabbing some paint up, kind of the same techniques, just in a very playful mode. And I really like the what happened. So here's the finished pieces. Or at this point, they're finished. There's the two little 4x12s, and then there's I think they're 8x8, the gold with the plaster of Paris with the canvas. And I really love the way these turned out. They can actually be hung any way that they want. but I kept this a very muted gold. Then here's two more. These are, I believe these are like the 8x8 also, with the plaster of Paris pieces of canvas on them. And I can just see several of these hanging together. They really turned out, in my mind, they turned out really beautiful. Here's the 12 by 12 black. The picture was kind of hard because the black was shiny, but I love the way this turned out. And then here's the other 12 by 12s, and I really love the, there's like a very softness but complexity of these. And I'm happy with the pencil marks. So the next thing I'll go through, this is one of my favorites, I'll go through and do a finalization of maybe some titles and go on to either the paper pieces or the larger pieces. So I hope you've enjoyed this video of like the second, third, maybe sometimes fourth layers. Here's kind of a little montage of all the ones I did, and I'm really liking them so far. So I'm going to put these to the side, and I hope that you are subscribed, ring the bell so you know when the next video comes out. I'm not sure if it's going to be the larger paintings or the smaller paintings, but leave me comments on some of the ones that you think you like. And I just hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed putting these together for you with my, you know, I have a nice sized studio, but really when you're putting all these paintings out, it becomes very small all of a sudden. So it is a trick to spread all these out while I'm painting. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you subscribe, and thank you for being a part of this journey with me. I'm enjoying the feedback and meeting some new people. And I'm really excited for the next video to start shaping up.